Welcome to my 12-year celebration. This is my celebration of me saying I'm important and making changes to my health and looking after me on your own journey. And today I'm just Debbie. So make this fun and interactive. What sense calms your nervous system the fastest? Is it sight, sound, smell, or touch? Question number 2, which is the best reset button for your nervous system? A nap, scrolling, slow exhale, or a glass of wine? I think. Next, which has more sugar per serving? Coca-Cola, an iced coffee, a sports drink, or a bottled smoothie? You know, the ones you find at the store in the grocery aisle. Which of these plant foods actually helps lower cholesterol? Oh, it's not supposed to be plant foods, foods. Cheese, oats, avocados, or bacon? Go. True or false? Frozen vegetables are less nutritious than fresh. Frozen vegetables. Oh my God, you guys. That's false. Frozen vegetables are often more nutritious because they're flash and rich choice. And let's see our leaderboard. Welcome to my 12-year celebration of turning plant-based. And I have to say, I hear this all the time. Why do people who go plant-based think that they have to celebrate that? Why do they have to shout from the rooftops and tell everybody that they're plant-based? This is, to me, more than just going plant-based. This is my celebration of me saying I'm important and making changes to my health and looking after me. And today I want to take you a little bit on the journey that I went through. And as we go, I would love to hear about you and where you are at on your own journey. And no, I'm not saying that everybody has to go plant-based. That's not what I'm about. It's just about making changes and your own health journey. We all are on our own health journey, whether it's declining health or improving our health, we're all there. So I want to welcome you today. I'm Debbie Sadie-Fi. I am the nervous system nutritionist, but today I'm just Debbie. So welcome. Where are we called? So I've got cats who are going crazy right now. So, anybody here? Where are people calling in from? And how's your Saturday going? I'd love to hear from you. I would love for you to put something in the chat. Let's make this fun and interactive. Hey, Susan, you're going to say something, right? Start us off.
Did you want me to talk or type in the chat?
You can do whatever you want. This is free
Well,
too.
I'm here in Calgary, in Canada, and I'm packing to go to Phoenix tomorrow.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Are you ready for that?
I'm so bloody ready. I'm ready for some warm weather, and I'm ready for some. There's nothing else I have to do today other than what's already planned for the events, and that's all I need to do.
Yay! Well, get some rest.
Make sure that too.
You're ready. And I know you had some congestion going on. Oh my gosh, I have a story for you. And this is just to heed to make sure that you're prepared. I was flying from Montreal. I was in Montreal visiting with my mom, and then I was going on to rural Quebec to do a 6-week immersion program. And I got really sick in Montreal, including congestion. And then I flew on the plane, and boy, did I pay for it. I was fine when I went up in the air, but coming down, all of that congestion came back in my ear. So if you're congested, you might want to take something like an antihistamine or something before you fly.
I'm even though my ear, nose, and throat specialist said, no, the problem with your ears is not going to bother you when you fly. And I said to him, can I have that in writing, please? And he gave me a look. You know, it's like, so my ears are not too bad, but I mean, I've definitely got problems with them. So I'm going to take a Sudafed is usually what I take.
Well, be careful, because I know what it's like. After that, I couldn't hear for 3 days after that. I ended up going to the hospital in rural Quebec where everybody speaks French. And they don't speak a lot of English. It's not fun when you're sick to be somewhere where you don't know the language. Let me tell you. Anyway, I hope you have a great trip. And we have Helena's in Toronto area. Yeah, that's where I am as well, in Oakville. Pam is in New Brunswick. I know Susan is in Calgary. And how many Jays fans do we have? Taba, yes, in the chat, if you are a Jays fan and watching the baseball that's going on right now. Boy,
No.
yesterday was a heartbreaker for anybody who's a Jays fan. If you are an LA Dodgers fan, you're probably happy yesterday. And if you are don't care, that's good. Not everybody cares. But let me tell you, in Toronto right now, it's everything you turn on the TV, it's all about the Jays right now. Yes, so go Jays, go. And if you're a LA Dodger fan, it's okay. You're welcome here. I don't discriminate. Okay. Well, I just wanted to celebrate. I have some cool things. I will have some prizes. We're going to play a game. Some of you know my game. It's called Kahoot. We're going to do a little nutrition quiz and have a little bit of fun with that. A few prizes along the way.
Yay, Kahoot, awesome.
If you have your phone, I'm not sure if we're going to do.
Can I do it on my phone? Yeah.
If you have your phone, where you can put it on the phone and play along and see how you do with our nutrition and nervous system quiz a little later on. But of course, I have to tell you a little bit about my journey. And I hope more than anything, it inspires you. That's what I'm here for, is to really try and help inspire you along the way. So I'm going to share my screen as I go on my little journey to how I got here, where I am, celebrating with all of you amazing people today. So many of you have already heard this before because it's one of my favorite quotes, and it is so true. I got this from one of my mentors. I have so many beautiful mentors. But a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. And that's by Lao Tzu, who's basically, I think means ancient wisdom. Many, many years old. I think it comes from the Tao Te Ching. However, yeah, I started my journey in November 1st, 2013. And I have a big goal to impact 1 million or more women on my journey to my 20-year anniversary. I've got 8 more years to do that. Yeah. But on November 1st, 2013, I started by taking a step, and I'm going to tell you all about it. So here's me 12, 13 years ago. I was busy. I was in a corporate job. I was busy all the time. I worked at least 60 hours a week. I was in the pension and benefits field. I was, also raising 4 beautiful daughters. They're all grown up now, but I had 4 beautiful daughters, and I was pretty much a single parent as well. And my whole family is in Western Canada, in Edmonton. So I was pretty much on my own. I didn't have a lot of support. I had some beautiful friends who would help, but I didn't want to rely on my friends. So what happened? Oh, my whole life has been all about weight gain and yo-yo dieting. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. I was tired all the time, and I looked tired. I looked haggard. And you know what? I wore that like a badge of honor because I was so busy. I thought it was great. I don't know why I thought that. I know better now, let me tell you. And I had other health concerns. I had headaches all the time. My headaches were tension headaches. And I know today from the nervous system work that I've started that tension headaches are caused when you are in sympathetic mode. So I had these tension headaches all the time. I would wake up every morning and I could barely, like my head felt like it was going to explode. It literally was like migraines. I would some days I would just be lying in the dark, and I would have trouble. I would be sick to my stomach, and just like people with migraines, but it was tension headache. And so I started taking codeine, Tylenol with codeine, that was the only thing that made me feel better. Tylenol, I mean, I could go through Tylenol like crazy. It didn't help. So as I started on this journey, before this journey, I became addicted to codeine. And in Ontario, in Canada, you could buy it at the pharmacy as long as it was over the counter, but you had to ask the pharmacist. And I didn't want to ask the pharmacist to know that I was taking so much codeine. So I was going from one drugstore to the other and rotating drugstores around, getting my codeine. And what I didn't know at the time is the codeine actually was also amplifying my headaches. It would make me feel better for a short time, but once the codeine wore off, it would actually amplify, and they called it rebound headaches. No idea. I had mood swings and fatigue and really starting to feel burnout. Now, how many of you have some of these challenges as well? I would love to hear if you have challenges. Oh, hopefully you're okay. Oh, Helene, are you putting your hand up saying, yes, you have challenges too? Yeah, for sure. I was, not in a good place, let me tell you. But anyway, I was, it wasn't good. That's all I can say. But things changed for me, and I started to have some I'm calling them synchronicities, things that came into my life at just the right time. You know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher appeared, and I was ready. And the first thing that happened is when I separated from my husband, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to change my life, and I was looking for some kind of an entrepreneurial venture. And I kept going to all these business seminars and things, and everything came back that I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was passionate about, because I was about my children and my job. That was my life, my children, my job. And so when somebody asked me, oh, what is Debbie like? I have no idea. I had no idea. So I'm at a business seminar, and the keynote speaker happened to be John Gray. Now, I don't know if you know John Gray, but he wrote the book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And he had just put out a new book that talked about sugar. So he was telling us all about the impact sugar has to our hormones, to our body, to our mood, and all of those things. And he also was telling us how addictive sugar is. So I got a real wake up call. It was like he was talking to me and me alone. I didn't know that I was addicted. I didn't realize it had such high addictive properties. But basically, the more sugar you eat, the more your brain and the parasites in your body crave, and they crave more and more. And I was the person that wanted the birthday cake. And not only the birthday cake, I wanted the flour with all the icing, you know, the corner piece stacked with it. And that was me. I was like so addicted to sugar and didn't know it. And the other thing, I didn't know how damaging it was to my body. I thought of it as empty calories. Imagine that, you know, I just thought it was a poor choice. I didn't know it was hurting me. Once I knew that, it was like, I want to do something about it. I want to break my sugar addiction. That's what I wanted to do. I had no idea. How do you do that? All right. So into my inbox pops a documentary. It's called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Now, you can research that and just Google that, and you'll find that you can actually watch it on YouTube. It's posted there. And basically, Joe Cross had an autoimmune disease. He was on steroids. He was fat, sick, and nearly dead. His diet was pretty much pizza and hamburgers. That was it. Fast food. That's what he ate. And he set out to change his life by doing a juice fast, a juice reboot. Now, what did that do for me? Is it gave me the, I guess, the information that I could change my destiny by changing what I eat from a health perspective. I didn't know that before. So I decided I'm going to do a juice reboot. I can do this. And then I'll break my sugar addiction. It's like starting fresh, starting clean. And my challenge was I didn't have a juicer, but I didn't wait. And I literally I wasn't able to buy a juicer. And back then juicers were much more expensive than they are now. You know, they were hundreds of dollars. Now they're still hundreds of dollars, but you could get a good juicer for under $200. I was struggling at that. So I wasn't able to have a juicer, and I didn't want to wait. So I decided I was just going to eat vegetables. That's it. A little bit of fruit, but vegetables. That was going to be all I ate. I did that for 2 months. And guess what? I started that on November the 1st, 2013. I started eating vegetables. And I started feeling better. And I did that for 2 whole months to the end of the year. And at Christmas, I actually got a juicer from my family and I was able to start juicing after that. But I started feeling so much better that I decided I was going to not add back the animal products. I didn't set out to do that. All I wanted to do was get off of sugar. But remember, I started that journey of 1,000 miles with one step to get off of sugar. And as I did that, I found my next step, which was to go plant-based. And so that's what I did. Then people started asking me questions. They were concerned that what I was doing was not healthy for me. And here I am feeling great. I'm like, this is healthy. So I started doing research. I got found out about T. Colin Campbell, who is one of the researcher, and I love his story. So T. Colin Campbell started out as a research. He's a researcher, and he grew up on a dairy farm. And he went to university to study pretty much how they could improve dairy farming and production of milk for dairy farms. That's what he started out. And as he did his research, he realized that dairy was not good for us. Dairy is one of the worst things for us. It's actually meant for a baby animal to grow strong enough to live on their own. And it's addictive as well because the hormone, there's hormones and chemicals to get the baby to come back for more. And so we can get addicted on milk. So this is the start. And I thought, what a great story. Here's somebody who was going to research one thing and ended up finding a different truth and totally transformed his life. And now at Cornell University, they have a plant-based program that's from, I guess, that he is based on his work and his stuff. I think it's the T. Colin Campbell program. So any of you know who T. Colin Campbell is? Or some of the great documentaries that are out there, like Plant Pure Nation, there's Forks Over Knives. There's so many great documentaries. So I started learning. And when I started learning, I started to get my passion. All of a sudden, I was like lit up. And boy, if you asked me, hey, why are you eating that stuff? Or are you sure you're getting enough protein? Are you sure you're not getting enough whatever? And I would start talking to them. And I think they were sorry they asked me that question because I got so lit up. I really was lit up. And I said, hey, I think I found my passion. So this was my passion. And then yes, Gloria, yay, T. Colin Campbell. Such a great story. I read the China Study. It's a big book. And I didn't get to the end of it because every chapter was on different ailments and how a plant-based lifestyle can help. It was a whole food plant-based lifestyle, not just plant-based. There's a difference, but whole food. And I didn't get to the end because every single chapter, the answer was the same. There's not a different diet for different ailments. It's the same for everything. So I never got to the end. I was like, okay, I get it. About 2 years after I started, 2 of my daughters did a vegan challenge. They started in January, for the month of January. And I thought, I'm not going to say anything to them, but I think they're going to have a hard time with this. And to my surprise, they did it. And after they were finished, they decided to keep going. And so here I am with 2 of my 4 daughters. One was away at school. So I had 3 daughters at home and 2 were eating plant-based. So I said to the other one, I'm not going to cook any meat for you anymore. And she's like, okay. And I said, if you want to bring meat into the house and you want to cook it yourself, fine, go ahead, but I'm not cooking it. And with that, I started to want to cook really good meals for my kids that were plant-based so that they would stay plant-based. And I'm going to say one of the first cookbooks I ever got was the Oh, She Glows, cooked by, who's her? Angela. I can't remember her last name. It's here. Anyway, she had this cookbook we used all the time. So if you are looking for plant-based recipes and you want to get a cookbook where everything's together, I would highly recommend this cookbook because there's a lot of recipes that you can use. I've got other cookbooks and I might find 1 or 2 that I like, but with this Oh, She Glows, every recipe was great. So here I was, Oh, She Glows. So I highly recommend that. Now I'm cooking for my family. We went to Edmonton to visit my parents and I'm cooking for everybody. And my mom and dad really liked the food. And that gave my mom the courage to do it for herself as well. So my mom went not plant-based, but she went vegetarian. She still has a little bit of dairy now and again, but she's vegetarian. And my dad is partially, he eats meat 2 to 3 times a week. So they really enjoyed, and I think my mom has all the cookbooks as well, the Oshi Glows series. But this first one is the best one. Oh, so many good recipes. I think we made at least half the recipes from that book. And then I got curious about raw food. I saw an ad in a magazine for a raw food chef course by Danielle Arsenault, who runs Patcha Vega Whole Living Foods Education. And I thought, I'll learn more. And so I became a raw food chef. And when I finished that course, I wanted to, this is when I thought, I want to take what I'm learning to other women and help other women to see the power of food as medicine. And to me, the foundation of our health is the food we put in our mouth. And in my opinion, plant-based is the way to go. This is where you're getting the micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants, the fiber, all things that our body needs. So this was my jumping off point to say, I want to do this and take this to other women. So that was 3 years ago. Now, how many of you agree that plant-based or eating plant forward is healthy for you? I hope everyone, but if you don't, that's okay. You could put a yes in the chat, or maybe if you're not sure. Yes, yes. I got a couple of yeses. Thank you, Susan and Gloria. Barbara. I hear the T. Colin Campbell. It's wonderful that you started and shared the information with your family. Yeah, it's so great. And thank you. Yes, plant-based foods are great, and whole food plant-based. Yay, good job. And then on this journey, I met 2 other women that are my mentors. One is Nicolette Richer. I interviewed her. I started doing interview series. My first one was on cancer, called Proving Cancer Strategies Revealed, and how your nutrition can impact your outcome if you have cancer, but also it can be very preventative. And I wanted to interview Nicolette, but she never called me back. And she was like one of the ones high up on my list. And I did another interview series, and she actually responded, and I met with her, and we just connected so well. And her program is called Eat Real to Heal. It is a great program. I've done it. I've studied with her, the metabolic nutrition and detox program. And if you have chronic disease that you want to, pretty much anything, there's like hardly anything. I think ALS and leukemia are one of our very few diseases you can reverse by the program. And it's a very intensive plant-based program. But if you have chronic disease, cancers as well, you can reverse them through this program. And I've studied it and I teach it as well. So I learned a lot of my nutrition foundation from this program. It's a pretty simple but intense program if you do the whole program. All right. And then I also met Rose Metcalf, and she's my business coach. So she's the one who taught me how to do the interview series, which I have done many, many of them in the last year since I have been devoting my time to this full time. But she introduced me to something even more powerful than that. And that is the nervous system. Up until this point, up until about a year ago, I felt that it was all about the food. I know there's other adjunct and other things that can help you with your health, but I felt that the nutrition and food as medicine, that's the foundation, total foundation. But when I started learning about the nervous system with Rose, it has changed how I feel about even the nutrition. I still believe that nutrition is the foundation, but here's the deal. You need to put that foundation, that foundation for your house on solid ground. If you put it on quicksand, you're not helping yourself out. And so what I've been learning is that your nervous system is that solid ground that you put your foundation of your house on. And why is it so important? When your nervous system is dysregulated, your system is ripe for disease, for inflammation, chronic pain, all sorts of things. And we want our nervous system to be regulated. So what does that mean? So when your nervous system is regulated, so we have 3 states, and most of us know about this. And if you've been following me, you probably heard some of this, but we have 3 states. It's called the nervous system ladder. And there's ventral vagal, which is when we're in safety and we could feel calm, peaceful, joyous, lots of different things. And then there is sympathetic. This is the fight or flight, when you have a stress on you and your body reacts to that stress. And then there is dorsal, when you stress out and you're using up all your energy, at some point you shut down. Now, all of these states are good. Our body, our nervous system, its only job is to keep us safe for survival. And so we need that. This is all tools of the nervous system are what we need. But when you are in sympathetic, when you're fight or flight and there's no danger, you have a mismatch of how your nervous system is reacting to the environment around you. And that's when you're dysregulated, when there's a mismatch. And in today's world, that happens a lot. This is where we have mental health issues and anxiety, and all this stuff really stems from a dysregulated nervous system. And I'm going to tell you, since I've been working on understanding my own nervous system, what I found is I had no idea that I was dysregulated. And I know now that I am, and I'm working on it. But the first step, there's 3 steps. It's a 3-step program to getting yourself regulated. The first step is to notice or recognize where you're at. The second step is to regulate your nervous system. So if you can pay attention and attune to your nervous system, that's going to help. And then from there, you regulate your nervous system. And once you've regulated your nervous system, and you get into that ventral state of safety, that's when you can make changes. You can grow, you can transform. And this is the power of the nervous system. So when you don't recognize it, you might be in a dysregulated nervous system where you can't move forward. So think about this. How many of you have procrastinated in your life? You know you should do something, but for whatever reason, you can't do it. That's your nervous system doesn't feel safe to move forward, even if you know intellectually it's safe. You don't move forward. That's your nervous system keeping you safe, but it's dysregulated. I'm going to tell you a story, if that's okay. I went to the Sears Tower with my family in Chicago. I don't know if they call it the Sears Tower, but that's what I know it by. And they have this little 5x5 area of the top floor that has glass on it, and it juts out from the building. It's not on the it's outside of the building. And I went over to that, and there are people who are sitting on it, taking pictures, lying down, doing breakdancing on this thing. And I went to the edge, and then I went to step into the floor. That's where it's the glass floor. I could not. My nervous system was totally shut in freeze. I couldn't move. Literally, even if I wanted to, I couldn't move my feet to move into that. My nervous system was keeping me safe. And that's when I knew I had a fear of heights. I had no idea up until then. I used to get queasy in certain situations, but I had no idea. I was afraid of heights. And just another little story, I was thinking about that. One of my daughters has a fear of spiders. Now, to me, it's the Willis Tower. It's got to be the Sears Tower, right, Linda? I totally agree. Anyway, my daughter is afraid of spiders. She's got that arachnophobia. She is so afraid of spiders. So her nervous system is always, for whatever reason in her nervous system, she's got this fear of spiders. So when she sees a spider, her nervous system is telling her it's unsafe. So what is she doing? Our nervous system scans our environment multiple times every second for safety and danger. And if you've ever been in a situation where you're walking or something and you kind of sense something is behind you, but you don't really hear anything, that's your nervous system cueing in to your environment. Those kind of sensations are coming from your nervous system. And So when my daughter is scanning her environment for spiders, she sees every dot, everything as a spider, like little tiny spiders that none of us are seeing, she sees, because her nervous system is cueing on these spiders. And when she sees a spider, she goes into freeze. She couldn't go up the stairs if there's a spider in the stairwell. And the rest of us are like, are you crazy? This is like, spider, come on. But this is her nervous system keeping her safe, whether it's logical or not, that's in her nervous system. And the other point I want to make is everybody's nervous system is different. Our nervous system is based on all of our experiences and our makeup and our inner self, our outer self. And so no one can tell you how you feel in your body, but you. No one else knows. It's up to you. And nervous system work has just been such an eye opener for me. And until we feel safety, we're not going to be able to move forward. Maybe you want to change your diet and your lifestyle and you want to eat healthier. But if your nervous system isn't in a place where you're feeling safe, you're not going to do that. So when you're in shutdown, you want to eat, that's the door. So you want to eat comfort food. So when you're reaching for the sugary foods, because at that point, your nervous system wants energy in dorsal because it's feeling it needs energy. So if you've got these cravings, it's your nervous system is the driver for these things. When you are in ventral, when you are feeling safe and joyful, that's when you're going to want to eat healthy and make changes. And so this has been a real powerful awakening, aha for me. I'm just so excited and shouting it to the rooftops. You may have noticed. All right. And my epiphany back when I first started is really understanding, if we have a house, I don't want to spend time on this. I want to get into our quiz. Okay. We have a house and a beautiful house, a brand new house. If we don't look after it, if we don't clean it, if we don't take out the garbage. So this is kind of when detoxing comes in a little bit. We are going to start building up all sorts of stuff in our house. We're going to get clutter and garbage and things. If we can, and we can clean our house or try and clean it, but if we don't move the garbage out, it's going to stay in our body. And so this is our detox. And so our body knows how to detox, but sometimes in our world, we're putting in more and more chemicals into our environment, things like candles and other perfumes and scents and our blue light and our screen time and phones and TVs and other things. All of these are really to the body, are toxins. And if you don't work on, I guess, your health, then as these things build up, your house is going to start having inflammation. And the inflammation is where chronic disease, illness, and where we're not feeling good, our brain fog, all sorts of things. It plays with our hormones. It plays with our whole body. And our body, I mentioned, our body knows what to do. Our body is there for us to survive and thrive. Our body wants us to thrive, but we need to give it the right conditions for it to thrive. And if we've got inflammation, it's smoldering. So my message to you here is pay attention to those signs. If you have a rash that won't go away, maybe it's your body telling you need to help it. It's a sign that you need to do something to help it out. And I have a friend who started having a rash, and she tried creams and ointments and all sorts of things. And she finally went to the doctor and she thought she'd get some kind of a medicated ointment or something. Here it was that she actually had diabetes. That's why she had the rash. So if you have a rash that keeps persisting or something else that's not normal, check it out and also let it know that it's a sign. We go to the doctor to get lab results and blood work and everything, but our body is telling us if we're fatigued, if have brain fog, if we have a rash, whatever, that there's something is off and this is where we need to make changes. And if you don't do anything about it, eventually you get a 5-alarm blaze. And this is where you get things like diabetes showing up or cancer or other really serious diseases. And I don't want to focus on that because with nutrition and nervous system work, you can rise from the ashes. And the one thing that I learned is we have the power to make changes and actually go from surviving to thriving. We can do it. But the first step is you need to do two things. One, you need to recognize your nervous system and where you're at. Then you need to regulate your nervous system. And also, while you're doing that, you got to nourish your body. And I'm not saying jump wholeheartedly in. I'm saying meeting you where you're at. You need to nourish your body, nourish your nervous system. And then once you do those, you can rise. And when you rise, this is where you are thriving. You're feeling great. You can do transformation. How many of you have taken a course and you didn't finish it, or you started a course and you didn't finish it? Happened to me all the time. I thought, the fact that I paid money was going to be my impetus to actually finish the course. And I didn't do that. Well, some of that comes from the nervous system not being in a place where you can actually transform. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Enough of that. Oh, how did I go vegan? I already told you. I started with my juice reboot, and then I decided to clean up my diet. No sugar, no animal products. And I started doing an annual reboot every November 1st. But now I have a reset program I learned from my mentor, Rose. That's actually a 3-week program. We're in the middle of it right now from our nervous system nutrition reset. And it is a much safer way to give your digestion and your body a break and nourishment. But in order to do that, your body needs to be in a certain place. If your nervous system is telling you you're in dorsal, then you probably shouldn't be doing a reset. It really depends on where you are at. That's why it's so important to get from yourself. Anybody else done a reboot of sorts? Yep. Besides just taking other courses, anybody else done something like a juice reboot or a reset program? Gut reset. Yeah. And I know, Gloria, you did. Susan's on a rebuild. Yes. And Gloria, the gut reset, that's from Danielle Pachavega. She has an amazing 3-week gut reset program. And when you do these resets, it's always eating plant-based. To rebuild your body, you need to have the nutrition is plant-based. So what's the plan? It's simple. Eat real food, mostly plants. This is the simple for your food. It's so simple. But when we can't do it, or it's because our nervous system isn't feeling safe enough, and our nervous system is looking for what's familiar to us. And if you're in dorsal, which is kind of that shutdown, yes, yay, Pam, I love it. Danielle, amazing. She is amazing. Anybody wants to learn about raw food and nutrition, Danielle is a great person to learn from. And I don't know who's gone to Nicaragua to meet with her. Oh my God. That's on my list, but I haven't done it yet. All right. Anybody ready for a little quiz to test your knowledge? If you are, we got a smaller group here, which is okay. I'm all good, but if you have your phone, you can use the QR code, or you can go to kahoot.it to set up the challenge. And I'm going to give you a pin at kahoot.it. That's the easiest. Just go to kahoot.it, open your browser on your phone. I guess you can do it on your on your computer, but most people do it on their phone.
I have the app, or you could put the app.
Yeah, well, if you don't have the app, just go to the kahoot.it, not kahoot.com, but kahoot.it. And let me get I'm going to put the thing on here. We can have some fun. I'm going to share my other screen. Just hang on. I'm going to go back here and share. Where's my Kahoot? I don't think you can see. Oh, I have to start it. All right. So it's so if you go in, you'll get a game pin. So here's the game pin, 3651470. So let me put it in the chat if I can. All right. We have B in there. Yeah. So you don't have to, you can just play along, but it's fun. And there's going to be prizes for our winners, by the way. So you want to play if you can. Just have fun. It's Kahoot.it. And we've got a few people in. Yeah. Yay. 3651470. Yes. This is the fun part. This is why you came. Anybody else trying to get in? If you're still trying to get in. Oh, yes, we got another one here. 246. Anybody else trying to get in? I don't want to start until everybody's had a chance to get in. Everybody's good? All right. I should put them.
Did you set the speed for long?
Do you want it? I did. I don't know. I hope it's long enough, Helene.
Yeah, because
I'm
I've
not
been
changing
there.
it now. All right. We have 5 people.
I've been there
Anybody
when
else?
it's like literally like a half of a second. It was too
Gotta
fast.
be long enough to read.
Yeah,
I
and
think I give you 20 seconds. I don't know. I hope it's enough. Otherwise, I guess I'll need to learn. Okay. Are we ready for
Yeah.
the first question? Are we ready?
Sure.
Everyone's ready? We know what we're
Yes.
doing?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Do.
Okay.
Here's my quiz. Do. What sense calms your nervous system the fastest? Is it sight, sound, smell, or touch? Woo! All right, it is our smell. We got one person got it right. The scents reach our limbic system right away without any thinking required. And that's why essential oils like lavender, citrus, or pine can shift you from stress to safety in seconds. And there are so many. Check it out. Essential oils is a great way to have your nervous system regulated. Gloria, can you hear me? Or is there an issue with the sound?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Oh, you're just putting in your guess. Okay, I got it now. Duh.
Yeah, but I wasn't right.
Next question. Sorry, Gloria.
That's okay.
All right, Helene is in the lead to start with, but we have a long way to go. Question number 2, which is the best reset button for your nervous system? A nap, scrolling, slow exhale, or a glass of wine? I think. All right. A nap. It actually is a slow, long exhale. And if you put your hand on your heart and the other hand on your belly, you are cueing your body for safety in your parasympathetic, and which is the front side of your body. The sympathetic fight or flight is the back side, which is why we get tense in our shoulders. It's because of that. So, woo, that's the fastest way to get out of fight or flight, is just do a few deep breaths. Imagine, it is simple. You can do it anywhere and it's free. Look at that. I love simplicity. And Esther is taking over the lead. Woohoo! Next, which has more sugar per serving? Coca-Cola, an iced coffee, a sports drink, or a bottled smoothie? You know, the ones you find at the store in the grocery aisle. Believe it or not, it's that healthy, or so-called, I'm going to say healthy in quotes, smoothie. So most of the bottled smoothies out there hide 40 to 55 grams of sugar, which is more than a Coke. The fiber that slows the absorption is gone, so your blood sugar crashes sooner. And I think it's like 10 teaspoons, believe it or not. That seems like a lot. So if you're going to do a smoothie, come to me and make the healthy smoothie, the whole food smoothie. All right, let's see where we're at. Esther is in the lead. Helene is on the board, and so is Dee. Let's go. Which drink actually helps stabilize your blood sugar the best? Unsweetened green tea, flavored iced tea, a diet soda, or a smoothie? Gloria's got, we did iced tea, or sorry, green tea. And everyone got that one right. Good job. So believe it or not, green tea actually improves our insulin sensitivity and reduces inflammation. And sipping on something warm and slightly bitter actually helps steady your nervous system. And so when we're doing things like we say, don't have caffeine, green tea is the exception because it can help our nervous system out. And how we go. Esther is still in the lead. She's got the winning streak of 3. Helene is in second. We've got D and then B on the board. And I think Gloria would be on the board. I think she's got it pretty good here too. All right. Next question. Come on. All right. Which of these wellness habits can raise cortisol if overdone? Intermittent fasting, high intensity workouts, cold plunges, and endless coffee drinking. This is if overdone. Da, 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 da. I think endless coffee drinking doesn't help you anywhere. But believe it or not, high intensity workouts, if they're overdone, so exercise is amazing. I don't want to say that it's not, but if you do too much high intensity without giving yourself time to recover, it keeps the cortisol high and your body reads constant intensity as chronic stress. And this is where you want to balance your high intensity workouts with rest and gentle movement. So don't overdo those high intensity workouts. And I have to say, when I see some of these posts on Instagram, I see a lot where they're promoting all this workout stuff. And I'm going to go back. Foundation. Food with nervous system as the groundwork. All right. And a little bit of movement between B and D. All right. Next question. Which of these foods can raise insulin levels the most? Chicken, white rice, candy, or an apple? This is a tough one. Believe it or not, it's chicken. Woo, that's a surprise. Animal protein, especially chicken, can trigger a big insulin release even without carbs. It's a reminder that hormones respond to amino acids, not just sugar. All right. Yeah, something to keep in mind. That was a surprise to me as well. And Esther is pulling into a big lead here. Next question. Which diet pattern is linked to the lowest rates of heart disease worldwide? Is it keto, Mediterranean, paleo, or carnivore? And it's Mediterranean. However, I have to say, plant-based is also up there. I just didn't want to put it up there because anyway, eating a diet that's rich in plants, beans, and minimally processed foods is really what you need to lower your risk of heart disease. And it's about the fiber, the antioxidants, and the lifestyle balances that make the difference. So plant-based is there too. All right. And we have Sue, Esther, Helene, B, D, and Sue. Let's go. Next question. Which of these healthy oils is most often rancid or blended with cheaper oils on store shelves? Olive oil, flax oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil? This is a troubling question for me. And yeah, Gloria, I think. It's actually avocado oil. And you have to watch, olive oil is getting up there too now. If you buy extra virgin olive oil, apparently they're starting to cut it with other cheaper oils. And so what you want to do when you're buying your store-bought oils is to make sure that they're cold pressed in dark bottles and store them away from heat and light to protect the delicate fats, especially put them in the fridge. And if you put olive oils in the fridge, you should see a haze, it should be murky. That will tell you that you've got a good one. If it still looks like it's clear, that means that they've cut it with some other oils or diluted it with cheaper oils, or that it's become oxidized. And Up to 70% of store-bought avocado oil is actually already oxidized or rancid. It's a shock, huh? And I think everybody's saying the same on that one. Let's keep moving. Which of these plant foods actually helps lower cholesterol? Oh, it's not supposed to be plant foods, foods. Cheese, oats, avocados, or bacon. And oats is the right answer. Oats contain soluble fiber that will bind with cholesterol in your gut and escort it out of the body. And by the way, avocados will help too by raising your HDL, which is the good cholesterol in your body. And I'm going to do a Monday Myth soon on cholesterol because cholesterol is not the villain that everybody calls it out to be. We need cholesterol in our body. It's something we need. All right, let's check it out. There we go. All right, Helene is up there in second, moving over to second place. And over to our next question. Which food has more protein per calorie? Is it steak, broccoli, eggs, or cheese? Which one has more protein per calorie? Wow, eggs and cheese. Believe it or not, it's broccoli. Broccoli actually beats steak in protein density, and plants actually sneak in more amino acids than most people realize. That was my number one question I would get asked. Where do you get your protein from? Protein starts in plants. It's actually the amino acids. And not only are they there, but they come with fiber, antioxidants, and zero saturated fat. So that gives them an extra bonus. All right, let's see. I don't think anybody's moving here. So let's move on to the next question. Oh, I love this one. Which of these foods can raise your blood sugar faster than table sugar? Is it white bread, honey, banana, or white rice? Which is going to raise your blood sugars faster than table sugar? Hey, everybody's on the same. It's white bread. So refined starches like the white bread actually will spike your blood sugar quicker than sugar itself. So you want to pair it with veggies, beans, or healthy fats to slow down the absorption and keep your energy stable. Or don't eat white bread, move to a whole grain bread or none at all. And, you know, we talk about gluten, and there's kind of a lot of different camps on gluten, but gluten, you know, you may have a sensitivity, but I think there's a lot of people who have a sensitivity for gluten that don't even know it. Yeah, when I'm not saying I'm gluten-free, but I try, especially in my cooking show, to be gluten-free. All right, let's go. Any change? Helena's moving up there. Sue, D and Sue, and then B. Good job, ladies. Next, we're going to do some true and false rapid fire. Eating sugar causes diabetes. True or false? And the answer is false. Eating sugar is not the root cause of diabetes. It's actually fat stored inside the muscle cells that blocks insulin from doing its job. And whole food plants, even those with natural sugar, improve insulin sensitivity when they have fibers and nutrients intact. So this is a great way. It's not all about the sugar, which is what everybody thinks. And how are we doing? Oh, D moved up. Sue is moving up. Woo-hoo-hoo, we have a raise. Next in our rapid fire. True or false? Kale has more calcium per calorie than milk. Kale or milk? Which one is the powerhouse? Everybody got that right. Kale per calorie is a calcium powerhouse. Your body absorbs it efficiently without the saturated fats, hormones, or muscle-forming protein, or mucus, mucus-forming proteins found in dairy, and plants for the win. Yeah. All right, next. Where are we going? Everybody's moving up. Let's go. True or false? You burn more fat on an empty stomach. And we have a mixed result there. The answer is false. It might seem like you're burning more fat when you are doing fasting, but your body shifts into stress mode and raises your cortisol. And then that will break down muscle and slow your metabolism, especially for women. And you burn the most fat when your body feels safe, fueled, and calm. Okay. Big difference. All right. And by the way, I used to do all the fasting all the time. It would work for 3 days and then I would gain it back and more. All right. How are we doing? We have a race. Sue is really on a streak of 4 for her answers. Yay, Sue. Next. Due to true or false, walking after meals can lower your blood sugar levels. And everyone got that one. True. After walking after meals will lower your blood sugar. Just 10 minutes of gentle walking after eating helps muscles soak up the glucose for fuel instead of leaving them in your bloodstream. This is one of the simplest, most powerful nervous system friendly habits you can do every day. And I have to say, in my area, I see a lot of older people out for a stroll after dinner. And when I'm walking my dogs. All right. Oh, here we see. I think everybody stayed the same. I think. Let's see. And Sue's average answer streak is now 5. Last question. Let's go. True or false? Frozen vegetables are less nutritious than fresh. Frozen vegetables. Oh my God, you guys. That's false. Frozen vegetables are often more nutritious because they're flash frozen within hours of harvest. So they lock in the vitamins that degrade in transportation or storage. So it's not that fresh is, if you don't have fresh, frozen is a fantastic nutrient-rich choice. And let's see our leaderboard, our podium with 3. Hello. Yeah. In second, Sue. Yeah. And in first place, drum roll, it's Wow. Let me stop my sharing. All right. So, ladies, the 3 of you have won. So I am going to give you a choice of, and Gloria, I don't know how, I can't tell if you want, because you were getting some good answers in there. A choice of some of the things that were big on me, the Eat Real to Heal book on nutrition and the Eat Real to Heal program, or the cookbook, the Oh She Goes cookbook, or if there's something else and you've got both of those, then we'll figure something else out. But I'll reach out to you to find out so I can deliver a prize to you. So congratulations, ladies. Anybody learned something while they were doing this little or watching or doing the little quiz?
Yeah, for sure. It was a learning experience. Thank you.
That was cool, Debbie.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. All right.
Debbie, will the quiz be available? Because I thought the quiz plus your comments were fantastic.
All right. Yes, I'm going to send out the replay to everybody. And so you can get the replay. And thank you. I really appreciate that. And yes, I think Kahoot is always fun. It's such a
It is. It rocks.
it's a great way to learn and it is fun. I love it. I love it. All right. I have one last thing that I want. Today is the launch of my nervous system assessment. So I have been working on putting together an assessment and I'm going to share my screen again and tell you all about it, where I can find it. Now I got to find it. Sorry, ladies, give me a second. I got to find my assessment. Oh, this is what happens when you have windows open. Oh, I think, let me just get out. All right, so I'm just got to find my, boy. All right. Now I could share with my thing. It's telling me I can't share my screen. Oh my goodness, what did I do? Oh, wow. Let me try again and then I'm going to If not, we're going to ditch it. All right, now it's working. Okay. I have put together a nervous system fitness assessment. It's free to take. You are the first people to get this assessment opportunity. And I'm just going to copy the link into the chat if I can. You can also, oh, I don't want to do that. I put it in the chat. So this assessment will take you like a minute or two to do, and it's going to help you to figure out where your nervous system fitness is. And the reason why I think this is so important is I had no idea I was living in a dysregulated nervous system. I thought I was good. I thought I was fine, but what I was numb. I was high functioning in sympathetic and dorsal and didn't even know it. And I think that there's a lot of people who are really have little awareness of where their nervous system is, and your nervous system is the key. If you want to make changes, if you want to improve your health, start with your nervous system. There's so many other things that are confusing out there. Focus on your nervous system and your nutrition fitness. We don't talk about it as fitness, but to me, it is very powerful fitness for us. So let me get this. Try and put this in the chat, or you can use the thing. And so, yeah, there it is. Take the assessment. It'll give you an idea where you stand. I said 3 minutes. It's actually probably a minute to 2 minutes. And you have the option, if you would like, to book a nervous system nutrition fitness call with me. It's about 45 minutes. It is not about me selling you something. And I don't know, I have worked with many of you ladies. And yes, if I feel that there's a program that you would benefit from that I have, or working with me one-on-one, I will offer that up. But I have worked with many ladies where I'm just happy to share what I know and the information because I want you to do well. I want you to thrive. So it's not about selling, and it's really about giving you an opportunity. So take the test. By the way, I failed. No, there's no such thing as fail. My score was not very good. I think my score was 40%. I did well in one area, but I did really bad in the other 2 areas of nervous system fitness. So yeah, I have work to do. It's and a lot of it comes, I got to say, comes from my corporate. I spent over 35 years in a corporate job, and a lot of the dysregulation really comes from that corporate environment. It's not the healthiest for us, but here's the deal. If you know and recognize, it's the 3 pillars, or the 3-part step program is to recognize where you're at. And this is a great tool for that. The second step is to regulate your nervous system through nutrition and nervous system exercises. And the third one is to rise. You can rise once you're regulated. And in order to actually regulate your nervous system, we need co-regulation. We need to be in community to work together. And so I want to thank you ladies for being here today to help me celebrate my 12-year anniversary on my journey of 1,000 miles. And I've got to say that this is a great way for us to all co-regulate together today. So thank you so much for joining me.